Rated M for mature.
Hi, my name's Clint Tasker, and I'm a development tester here at Relic. I'm working on Dawn of War 2, and we're going to play a 3-on-3 game between the Eldar and the Orcs. This is a game with balancers and testers, both on both teams. In the pre-game lobby, we're just smack-talking a little bit and setting up our game. Right now it's Eldar versus Orc, but that's about to change. And we're going to switch around to Orc versus Eldar. So the game's just started, and in this game it seems to be that the Bad Moon Orcs are going to face off against the Ulthway Eldar. My teammates are Mech Boy and Commando. I've chosen the War Boss. So right now we're just building our initial units and setting off into the battlefield. The Mech has a capability of teleporting, so what he's done there is teleported ahead and started scouting. And we're going to send our Sluggas and my War Boss in behind him. The Orcs are great at early game pressure, so what we're going to do is try and push up into the battlefield as far as we can and pressure the Eldar. Here you can see me activating the power node on our PowerPoint, so that should protect it. The Eldar are entrenched here, and what the Mech has done is gone forward and tied up the shuriken cannon in the back. So we teleported up and started mailing it, and that gave us the opportunity to send in our Sluggas, our Shooters, and my War Boss. So they're just going to town on the Guardians and the Farseer there. The Eldar are retreating and have decided to give up their power node, which is activated, so it's going to hold us off for a little while. But we're going to send in our Shooters and our Sluggas to try and take that out. So we have the advantage right now because we've pushed the Eldar back to their base and have started to decap and destroy the buildings that they've set up. But they haven't lost many units, so they may be able to come back from that. Here I am building some generators to get our power supply going. This will give us the opportunity to build more powerful troops later in the game. So I've pushed off the Eldar once again, and I've started to decap their listening post there. Meanwhile, my teammates are capping different parts of the map, but it looks like the top part of the map is we're starting to lose the top part to the Eldar there. So right now I'm just keeping my War Boss up in front to keep pressure on the Eldar. And there you can see the Farseer. I'm trying to kite her back towards my Sluggas so that I can take her out. But she doesn't seem to go for it. And I make the mistake of losing a bunch of precious time on that cap there. So in here, in the center of the map, my teammate is pushing against the Warp Spider, who doesn't seem to have any support troops. And here the Farseer comes at me again. And so the Eldar try and set up the shuriken cannon in the back to fire at my Orcs, but I'm able to tie it up before it can set up and get in some hits before these Eldar come in, and I'm forced to retreat. So with that many Guardians and shuriken cannons there, I don't have any chance with that one slug unit, and I have to get out of there. Meanwhile, my teammate here is pushing against these Guardians in the middle, and my Sluggas go in to help him out. And they do an okay job, but I think they end up taking quite a beating from the Eldar there. But we protect our power point, and that's all that really mattered there. So these are my troops from across the map who have just finished retreating, and I'm just gonna reinforce them a bit and send up my sluggers up here to try and take back some of this territory on the upper part of the map. So the Eldar had a shuriken cannon set up there, and I want to make sure that they don't reset up that weapon, otherwise it's going to tear my orcs apart. So I try and rush in and take it out. But I get kited back into this Eldar entrenched area. My teammates have joined me, and my sluggers are up there pressuring, but they're taking heavy damage, and they end up dying a lot. What my teammate has done is he's used a global ability called Call into Boys, and that's reinforcing our troops automatically on the field near the heroes. But my sluggers weren't saved by that. But they gave the opportunity for my teammates' units to get in there and force them out. So here the Eldar have been pushed out. Even though I took heavy losses, we still got that area. You can see, just with one shuriken cannon, you can see the power of suppression. Those 3 slugger squads still can't quite get close to it. So down here, the Eldar are trying to wreak havoc on our economy by killing our power supply. So these Banshees and Farseer are trying to take out our generators. All I have now is a sluggy unit and my war boss, but I've just built a Death Dread. So in Dawn of War 2, it doesn't really matter how many units you have, it's what you use. And so the Eldar don't really have a hard counter to this Death Dread, so when I send it down there, it's going to be able to walk all over those Banshees. Walkers are great in melee, but they're kind of slow, so we're going to have to wait for them to go down there. Meanwhile, on the upper part of the map, the mech has fallen and the commando is rezzing him. So this saves us from having to spend the resources on resurrecting that hero, and he gets to start right there on the battlefield. So I've sent this Death Dread down to push out the Banshees, and I found a shuriken cannon. So the shuriken cannon really can't do much against the Death Dread's heavy armor, so he's just going to start tearing that apart. And meanwhile, my war boss is going to take care of the other melee. So like I said, with just a few units, you can really do some heavy damage if you play it well. So the Death Dread is taking out the Banshees one by one, meanwhile the war boss is over there sync killing the Guardians. And this Eldar is going to be forced to retreat because he can't defeat the Death Dread. The Eldar have activated this power node, so I'm going to have to take it out with my Death Dread before I can start decapping it.
Victory in the making, boys. Let's get it.
So these sluggers will go back and recap, and I'll send my Death Dread up to push back. Meanwhile, my war boss is going to decap that point there so that they can stop getting the victory point. So the victory points are going to swing over into our favor, and you're going to be able to see their tickets tick down once again. Up here we have a ton of Eldar facing off against some of my allies. So I'm going to go up and try and help them out with my Death Dread. It's the only real support I can give them right now. But they seem to be holding their own. The war boss is finished capping the point, so he's going to go up there and help them out.
That damn neck boy in our team! That Klaus's Loomis
So one of my allies has also built a Death Dread, and because the Eldar don't have any hard counters to these walkers, there's really not much they can do about it. They just have to retreat back into their base. So it allows us to take back the middle part of the map, and we're going to decap the 1 VP that they have, which will give us a 3 VP advantage and start taking down their tickets a lot. So what the Eldar have done here is they've placed a webway gate right next to my power node. They ambushed all my orcs and slaughtered them. So what I'm going to have to do is round up all my boys and send them back there and prevent them from capping that point.
That's the way! Some of the Allied boys just picked up a victory point for us!
It's a Whedon, and he's doing stuff!
So just my sluggers and my war boss beating on the Farseer, who escapes through the webway gate. I can't do much to stop her, but I can take out the webway gate. So that'll prevent the Eldar from teleporting to this area again. The tank busters do wonders on light buildings, so they take them out pretty quickly.
Don't rely on that infantry, though.
So what the Eldar have done is they've realized that we don't have a lot of tank counters, or we don't have a lot of anti-vehicles, so they've